Special Agent Patrick Sanford. He is a special agent with the FBI, and he was brought into the Dan Markel case very early on in the investigation, about the third day. And at first he was brought in to assist the Tallahassee Police Department with matters that were outside of the jurisdiction of Leon County. But as the investigation continued, his role became ultimately as co-lead investigator for the murder investigation. In particular, he was the lead investigator for all of the electronic surveillance that surrounded the infamous bump that occurred in April of 2016. Now, we know that the defense has filed a motion to suppress that those electronic communications or wiretaps, so we'll just have to see how the court rules on that. Now, I'm not going to cover the bump in this particular video, but I will link a video where I did go over previously the bump. And I'm also going to be doing a separate video where I go through the bump and highlight some of the arguments that I think Charlie's defense is going to use to support their case, their defense. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so the first set of wiretaps that I'm going to focus on occurred the day of the bump. So that was April 19th.
So, if you had time tonight after work or some very near future, I'm going to speak with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone write a letter to you or something?
I've got some paperwork hand delivered to me.
You're being sued?
No, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't need to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, so, I'm not even, I have to figure out something to kind of tell us that wherever you are.
Well, I'm in Mitch Klein's office on our Boulevard.
Okay.
So I'm right now in Skyline Chili, and I'll be at his office in the afternoon.
Okay. So the boys will finish their piano lesson around 4-ish, and they take on the traffic with them, and they take a ride with them up there.
His dad know about this?
And the dad did work today, fortunately.
What's, is it IRS?
Those IRS people are kind of probably sometimes, but, fortunately not now.
Okay.
So I will talk to you, I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to drive up that way. Okay? And
Is one video there? Is it involved one video?
No. So let me just talk to you later, and,
Is everyone's health okay?
Yeah.
Does it involve me or other people?
Well, probably both of them.
What's that?
Probably the two of them. So, probably the general idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So let's just find some time to talk to each other and take the boys for a ride, okay?
You're going to take a board up there?
Maybe doesn't come home. Maybe you can get here till about 7 when Dad gets here.
So it's going to be talking to me there.
Today or tomorrow, and it's important.
All right. Well, I'll be up at Mitch Klein's office. You want to come up? No, yeah, for real.
I'm just concerned about we have to get up there and get back in time for him to get them. Sometimes she gets out a little earlier, but not kind of enough here.
Can I ask you a question? Who's the paperwork from?
I see that, that's great. It was something that came hand to hand to me, so I exited the building today.
And he said, was it anonymous or?
Oh no, it's not anonymous. It's not anonymous. I just don't want to discuss it over the phone.
Right, whatever it is. It's silly, but if you want.
I wouldn't bother you, trust me.
Yeah. Do you want me to come down to see you tomorrow? I take the day off.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Dad actually works later tomorrow. You know, he goes in at 1 o'clock. We both work out at the gym from 9:30 to 10:30. So
Whatever it is, I'll take a look at the paperwork.
Yeah.
I know it's not the IRS, but
I just would like you to review it and give me some input as to what your thoughts are. Okay? So come down tomorrow. Dad leaves at 12, so anytime after 12 would be good.
12 tomorrow.
Yeah, he leaves at 12. He starts at 1 there, so 12, 12:15.
I'll come down after you and everything I'll do and see what's different.
That would be great.
Perfect. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Lovely. Bye.
Now, I inserted all of this call because I think pretty much the entire call is interesting. I mean, first, it's important because it shows that as soon as she got back from getting that letter and talking with the undercover, she immediately calls Charlie when she gets back to the condo. She tells him about a letter. She tells him that it's really important that she speak with him, preferably that day in person. She does not want to talk on the phone. And when Charlie asks her, well, what does it involve? And she says, probably the two of us. So I think that probably the two of us is really important to show, again, beginning to show this connection from the bump conversation, which you recall, part of that letter was a picture, a news article about Dan Markel's murder, and then Donna Adelson and Charlie. Now, the second call, I'm going to insert the actual testimony here. So this call was at 2:35 when Charlie called Donna back. And I think here, one of the important aspects of the conversation is here. And listen, whatever it is, someone sent you. I wouldn't worry too much about anything, okay? I mean, someone can write whatever they want to write. Someone can say whatever they want to say. I'm not worried. So was it another bad review on Yelp? Charlie asks. You know, these reviews come in and sometimes they're bad reviews. This is a particularly bad one. Interesting. And then go on to say, Charlie says, but anyway, I'll definitely come down. It actually works out perfectly because I have the day off. Okay, you know, I'll make you take me out to dinner. So make sure you bring cash with you. Now, do you really think that they need cash to go out to dinner and like either one of these individuals are not going to be walking around with enough cash to pay for dinner? I think that's a signal, bring some money. And so Charlie's kind of confused here. He says, so I need to bring cash? And then Donna says, yeah, if you take me out to dinner, I want to have, really, this is probably a good idea, right? And I think here she's trying to signal to him, I need cash and we need to leave the house. Charlie seems to kind of get it. And so Charlie says, I should bring cash. I don't have much cash to bring. And Donna says, yeah, okay, I'll see if I have money for dinner. We'll see. We'll see what I have here, okay? Interesting. The call's back again at 3 o'clock, and I'll insert here the testimony itself of what I found to be interesting from this 3 o'clock call. Charlie here. Quick, question for me. Oh, one thing I was going to tell you. It is obviously don't talk about things in the apartment or any place. So Charlie is definitely getting a clue here, what's going And then he goes on to say, can I ask you, what did they ask for? Donna, I don't know. This TV is probably about 5. And of course, as everyone knows, 5,000 was what was written on the bump letter. And of course, TV is a reference to the whole TV aspect of both the joke about that Charlie supposedly made about wanting to hire a hitman, but a TV is cheaper. The fact that we have a TV being fixed the morning of the murder, seems a little too much of a coincidence to me, my opinion. Then, the real kicker, Donna says to Charlie, they mentioned, like an ex-girlfriend. And so again, this was referencing to the conversation that the undercover had with Donna as he was handing her the piece of paper when he says, you've taken care of, your family has taken care of Katie and Tuto. And then when they took care of your problem up north. And he kept saying Katie and Tuto. He never said an ex-girlfriend of your son. He said Katie. And insert here a calendar that I did for this day, just so you can see the different calls that we have here. Lots of information. Okay, so then a little while later, Charlie calls Katie at 4:27. And so here I'm going to insert a little bit of the testimony of what I thought was important for this 4:27 p.m. call. Charlie, I thought when I spoke to my mom, she said it involved, they mentioned your name in it. That's why I was calling you. But I'm going to feel like an idiot if they didn't. Now, in no time, when Donna talked to Charlie, did she say it was Katie? She just said ex-girlfriend. So who does Charlie call? Katie. And you recall in the trial testimony, the prosecution made clear with Patrick Sanford that Charlie didn't call any of his other ex-girlfriends after he spoke with his mother these 2 times. He called Katie. Very interesting. Very, I think, strong circumstantial evidence. This must not have been sitting really well with Katie because she actually calls him back at 6:07 p.m. And here I'll insert some of that testimony. Katie says, yeah, I'm scared. Your mom must be freaking out in SHIT. So she says she's scared. Why is she scared? And then she says again, that's why I'm afraid. Why is she afraid? And then she says again, that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm calling you back. Because it's it's. And then again, Charlie says again, I thought my mom said that the letter mentioned your name, but, I don't know. This weird thing keeps running through my head. I wonder what that weird thing that keeps running through your head, Charlie. Then they continue on in their conversation, and Katie says again, well, you're scaring me. What the F? And then she really is, this is rattling her. So then she's basically trying to push him to go down that evening. She's like, you should go ahead. And then she says again, you should try to talk to your mom. Make sure that she's okay. That's hard for her. She's feigning lots of concern about his mother. And Charlie's like, she's fine. She's just startled. And then Katie's like, no, you should go tonight. And then she says again, no, that's what I'm saying. You should try to talk to her tonight. So Katie's clearly freaking out at this point. And then she's like, head out there soon. And Charlie says, well, I'm going to get out late. I don't know. My dad's going to be down there. And then Katie says, does it have to do with me? Oh my God, you're scaring me. And then she says, then I thought it was very interesting in the end. And I think this is them where they're starting to realize maybe we need to start talking more in code. And then she says, well, why could they be referring to me? And then she says, I'm supposed to be employee of the month. And Charlie's like, stop it. Just make sure you call those patients that I gave you from the list the other day. I got to go. Okay, so the next set of electronic surveillance that I think is really interesting was what occurred on what I'm calling the Dolce Vita day. This was April 20th. So again, I'm going to insert here a calendar to show you basically what was occurring that day. So at 10:38 a.m., it starts out, Charlie calls Katie and he lets her know he's about to head out down to Miami to talk with his mom. And this, again, was not in the 2022 trial, but it was in the 2019 trial, this call. So he tells her that he'll probably be heading back up north around 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish, and he asks if she'll be available. And she says, of course. And then the interesting part of this call is where I think there's the grift going on. I'm inserting it here. So after he tells her that, after she says she'll be available whenever he needs, she then says, "Hey, you never heard anything about those," Charlie says, "the guy from the moorings?" Now, the moorings is a very luxurious kind of a resort that's in Isla Morada in the Keys. And so that's what he's referring to. And she says, "Yeah." And he says, "Yeah, no, I've only called 8 times, and I'll give you the number too." And Katie's like, "Oh, it's okay, no worries." And then Charlie says, "I'm going to, anyways, so I'm going to take care of it whenever you guys go. I just wanted that place because I thought it would be the nicest." So, another situation of a benefit that Charlie is providing to Katie just after they're talking about, Charlie heading down to Miami to talk to his mom. And then all of a sudden she mentions, "Hey, what about that luxury resort?" So, interesting little benefit there that Katie was grifting on Charlie for. So Charlie gets down to Miami Beach around 1 o'clock, and he goes inside, meets with his mom, and they go outside and they walk along the boardwalk. And there's a marina right behind the Icon building, and they're walking along, and they wind up going and sitting on these kind of concrete picnic tables. And if you haven't seen my traveling periodontist tour, I actually found where they were sitting, and it's right in front of this restaurant called Monty's. And so they're sitting there and they're huddled together. They're sitting right next to each other and they're huddled up. And if you recall that Patrick Sanford said that unfortunately they weren't able to get good audio from that just because they weren't able to get close enough to them without being, caught really. So they had a picture of them huddling together, but unfortunately we don't have audio of that. So in any event, they meet, and then it's about 30 minutes, and then Charlie eventually leaves and starts heading up north. Now, the next surveillance wiretap we have is at 3:14, and that's when Charlie calls Katie. He's basically in Sunny Isles now, talks about, "I see the CVS," which is right there in that plaza. If you've seen my travel periodontist tour, I went to the Optimar Realty and that plaza. And basically they're saying, "I'm here." And so she's like, "Okay, fine." So she comes out, and apparently they wind up sitting in Charlie's car for about 10 minutes. And of course the FBI can't, they can't audio that. And then they wind up going into the Dolce Vita restaurant. The defense has filed a motion in limine to try to exclude the enhanced videotape. I don't see that occurring. I don't see the judge agreeing with that motion, but we'll have to wait and see. So in any event, the agents are able to go in there, and then of course we get the famous recording that starts about 30 minutes or so in. And again, I'm not going to cover the post-bump conversation. I analyzed that. I'll link that video below in case you want to go check it out. So they wind up meeting about an hour in the restaurant, and then they leave. So this is approximately about 4:45 as testified by Patrick Sanford. So then at 4:56 p.m., Charlie calls Donna. And he tells her that he met a friend for coffee and that everything's good. And then Donna says, "Everything's fine?" And Charlie says, "Yeah, I'm just helping her out with some relationship advice." And then she may come see me tomorrow and I'll talk to her some more, but I gave her good advice. Do you think Charlie gave her good advice? And then he continues to reassure her in this call. Now, she winds up having to end the call early because at this time, she's actually at tennis lessons that the children, Dan Markel's children, are having tennis lessons. And so she needs to end the call quickly because she has to talk to the tennis instructor. So then Donna calls Charlie back within a few minutes. So it's in this call that we really start seeing that theme of one of two scenarios where Charlie shows here, I'll show it here, where Charlie says it's going to be one of two ways. And then Donna says, well, I'd like to have a good night's sleep. Okay, so the third set of calls that I think are interesting is this one that occurred the next day on April 21st. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that call now.
Go fishing.
Yeah.
You throw the chums out, and they're all gonna go out.
Yeah, you throw the chum and a bunch of fish come and they run and jump on it. I mean, I kind of think that.
Yeah, but for the privacy, it was absurd. So it you know, it's unfair.
Way too high of a price, right?
Yeah, of course, it was crazy. It was just that much.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to get something, that they would afford it, they would afford it, you know?
But I think you're real estate now.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so crazy.
Like, it's giving me a lot more knowledge about everything, so.
No, real estate's a great profession. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things, sky's the limit. You get with the right people and you start getting the right stuff, and you do extremely well.
Yeah, I'm learning as I go. I mean, I'm thinking, I go home and to do my research and stuff about things, and then I try to ask advice too, coming from somebody else's point of view. So it's okay, so if somebody was to offer this amount of money, I start looking at the listings, I start looking at possible scenarios or locations somebody could be at, and then hopefully I have a lead.
Was someone shocked that that listing came up?
Of course, especially for that amount.
Well, it's that amount in that location.
And it's hard. It's not an amount that somebody would just put out there, these are $1 million houses that we have here.
Yeah.
It would have been more. So.
Yeah.
I just don't want any balls, so it'll waste my time.
But you don't think alarm bells went off everywhere?
Not that I know of, because it's if the person was very interested about it and knew a lot about the property, then
Right.
it would have been a totally different story. It would have been a done deal and things would have been fine then, it would have been over. But
Yeah.
it seems to be, there's one or two scenarios which I'm trying to figure out right now. Since I'm still new, I'm still trying to figure out how to do it.
The thing is that property came with a full listing. It came with
Yeah, with all the information, as you
With all the
you get all of that stuff in MLS, you get all the information and the graphics of everything.
So.
But then again, you can have a listing everywhere. Everything's accessible.
Yeah, what's crazy is it came with everything but pictures.
That's kind of stupid. We kind of
Yeah.
pictures for everything.
Yeah, no, it was post pictures.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So let me find out first, regarding the property, and then we'll go from there.
to be very honest with you, I'm not very interested in buying a property. I think you buy a property like that, it becomes this is the thing. If you buy a property like that duplex that you're talking about, it just becomes a headache for life. Because
Yeah, but then it's
doesn't
like,
stop.
but you don't want to get stuck either in a situation where it's like, it's a false advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
It could be, listen, it could be one of two things. This is what happens when stuff doesn't hit the MLS first. Okay? And it's called like a pocket listing, meaning that someone's able to list the real estate beforehand. But what ends up happening is that, okay, say you get that property, it's a great deal and everything. It becomes, you get the wrong people in there, it becomes a problem for life. I've had this with other properties. Okay? It becomes lots of excuses, and then they move in, and then next thing you know, let's say even
it's a big headache. Then at the
Yeah,
same time, somebody's going to keep increasing the amount.
exactly, and then what happens is they tell you, I want to pay this for the rental property, or I want to pay that for the rental property, and you're
Yeah,
like,
but how that's not the case, that's the problem. If that's not the case for the client, then, you know, that's what I'm saying, there's always false leads. I mean, I guess whether that, like, oh, they'll call and then, oh yeah, well, no, okay, I don't really need it. I think that you can obviously have it for nothing.
well, I think it's without a question, it's one of two things. Either a false lead, someone just wasting your fucking time, or you get the wrong tenant in there with your rental property, and it goes ahead and it becomes, you know, let's say even they move out, let's say they take a little vacation. Next thing you know, if you don't know, you're not at the property all the time.
Of course.
And their little cousin, while they're on vacation, is like,
Moves in
it moves in, it's like, hey, guess who I am? You can da-da-da-da-da, and then next thing you know, his friend shows up and says, hey, guess who I am? I need this. And then they're constantly breaking things, and they're constantly knocking at your door to fix things. And it becomes it will never, ever, it'll be like a leech that never leaves you.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. That's why I need to get everything clarified first. That's why I do all the background checks and everything, make sure like a person really does want it before I even go forward with, trying to look for property for them. So I'm going around and around for nothing.
I mean, that's why these things also are done with contracts. You gotta have a contract attorney look over them, and then you buy them, and then after the property's bought. You know, there's no like, oh, by the way, I know I agreed to pay you X, but I'm gonna come to the closing and I'll give you half. No, if you say you're gonna do something, you fucking do it. You know, if you say you're gonna pay rent, you pay rent. If you say I'm gonna buy this building for $50,000 or whatever, or $1 million, or let's say you're gonna buy a building for $10 million. Okay, if you're buying a building for $10 million, you don't show up at closing and go, hey, I decided I'm gonna give you $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, it's just, you just get
I mean, it's just years ago, a phone call said last night to find out if this was a disease, and I'll find out more. Because like I said, I don't want anybody to take advantage of me, especially when you over here. So,
well, you gotta look at the pocket listings. It's good that you're in real estate, but just be careful. Because I'm telling you, if you buy the wrong rental property, like the one that I had in Miramar.
Now you hear they're talking about properties and whether there would be a good investment and pricing. Charlie even says, that's way too high a pricing. And Katie says, yeah, that's crazy. Now, in my opinion, that's code talk for Katie telling Charlie that she talked with Sigfredo about the situation. He's going to look into it, but that the price, the $5,000 of the bribe, is high. It's crazy. Now, did you catch at the end when Charlie says, was someone shocked that listing came up? And Katie says, of course, especially for that amount. And I think that's, again, they're talking in code. He's trying to get a sense of, does Sigfredo think that $5,000 would be something that an actual criminal would try to be using to like bribe somebody, or whether this might be something that is more on the police investigation side. So the next piece of electronic evidence that Patrick Sanford oversaw in this time frame was the Matsuri tape. And of course, we heard about that for the first time in Charlie's bond hearing last September of 22, when he was trying to get out on bail pending trial. Now, this occurred on April 21st as well, in the evening around 8 p.m. So we just went over the phone call that Charlie and Katie had, where they're basically, Katie's kind of giving him up to speed of where she is and trying to figure out what's going on. They're talking about one of two scenarios. They even mention Miramar, which is likely code for the FBI. So this evening, Charlie meets with Harvey. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the Matsuri tape right now. But in case you're interested, I also did visit the Matsuri restaurant. It was actually really good. And I'll go ahead and link that video below in case you haven't seen it.
There is no. Yeah, you can say it all day long. I can even tell you it's a giant stadium. That's it. Yeah, all day long. It's not done like that.
So I definitely think the Matsuri tape is harmful for Charlie, but I think that the comment Harvey makes that, when he says, that's what Katie agreed with you, and Charlie responds, yeah. I think that's not great for Harvey either, because it clearly shows that Harvey knows that Charlie's been talking to Katie, and I think it suggests that he understands that Katie is trying to figure out with Charlie what's going on. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, so the next piece of electronic surveillance that's super interesting, and this is where the undercover calls the Adelson Institute looking for Donna. I'm going to go ahead and insert that call now. It's between the undercover agent and Erica Johnson, who is one of the employees of the Adelson Institute.
Good morning, thank you for calling my Adelson office. This is Erica. Can you move you?
Yes, good morning. May I speak with Donna? This is Donna Adelson.
May I let her know who's calling?
Sammy?
Sammy from...
I met her last week, and I gave her some paperwork.
You met her last week and you gave her some paperwork regarding...
She knows what it's about. It's important paperwork.
Oh, okay. Is your name is Sammy?
Yes.
Do you have another phone number you can be reached?
My number is 305 712 6570.
Okay, because she's not available right now, but I can have her maybe give you a call back.
Okay, just tell her it's very important. I need to find out immediately what she thinks about the paperwork.
Okay. I certainly.
I met her last week. Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Now, I'm also going to insert the calendar for this day because there was a lot going on April 28th. So first, Charlie talks with Katie at 10:43 a.m. And Charlie is clearly getting frustrated with Katie at this point. And I'm going to insert that call here because I think this is important to show the frustration I think that Charlie's getting with her.
What happened?
Somebody called my dad's office. They were looking for saying that they dropped off some paperwork to them. It was a phone number on it, and actually the person left the message with Erica. And Erica called my mom because she's like, yeah, normally I wouldn't call you up, but I'm just getting phone calls.
Where's the phone number that they're calling from, though?
I can ask Erica, but Erica said a guy by the name of Sanford called my office this morning saying that I left some paperwork with Dr. Adelson last week, and I left a number on there, and he needs to call me at that number.
No, somebody's number.
Nobody's on the leg. I've just asked you to find out who the
It's like, get that number that's off of the thing, off of the number, off of the freaking, caller ID.
at the office.
Yeah, obviously. Because this is like,
Well, they're not coming out on foot, they're not writing letters, and they're not calling the office because they have nothing better to do.
well, I don't know what to tell you because I called that number myself.
Okay, well, let's call that number again and find out what the
And nobody picks up. And you can try another number and left a message.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to get whoever's threatening your family and helping you guys out. And trying to help you guys out, but it's like if they don't pick up, like what?
I understand that they want this morning and they're waiting for the phone call. That's what I'm telling you. And since it's 3 times.
Get a number or whatever that is that's calling you or your
305,
or whatever it is.
6570. You have the number.
Exactly. That number is obviously it's like a non-working number.
Okay, can you find out?
Right. Okay, and it's like, well, I don't fucking understand. Like if I have somebody pulling your phone, somebody is just harassing you, or somebody's trying to get something out of you.
Okay, find out who the because the other phone calls can be the FBI. I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, and then when they do catch the person, they're going to be asking lots of questions about who Katie is.
We already spoke about this. It's like not even like a.
It's not about Katie.
Somebody's
It's not.
harassing you guys, or somebody's harassing and doing, and it's
Okay,
like,
so you
I don't know.
Okay. Think it through. Find out who the fuck. That's all I'm asking.
It's getting aggravating.
Yeah, it is. All I'm saying is find out who the fuck and tell them to stop playing their games. Needs to be nipped in the butt.
No, but I'm gonna.
Find out.
That's correct, bro. I'm about to go to that. You're an idiot. You get.
Okay, well, either you go to the cops or we go to the cops or we'll find out. We'll find out.
Don't
who
gonna
the-
fucking go to the house because this is.
Because this person evidently knows you and knows your family. And they don't need, they don't like that.
And you
So,
don't think that I'm saying my name out loud or
well,
whatever?
if someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. If someone's messing with me, I'm messing with you. It's completely
Exactly.
insane.
My biggest takeaway from that call was this infamous quote that Charlie says, Katie, if someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. If they're messing with me, they're messing with you. It's one and the same. Now, what winds up happening is Charlie actually finally calls the undercover at 11:33 in the morning, and he's the first one of all of this drama. Remember, the 19th, April 19th was when the bump occurred. This is April 28th. No one has called the undercover until Charlie finally does it at 11:33 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that call right now.
Hello?
Hello, Vita.
Hello? Vita, who's this?
Who's this?
Someone's been calling my family trying to figure out who this is.
In reference to what, man?
Someone by the name of Sandy called.
Yeah, that's me, man.
What's going on?
What's going on? My brother's daughter. Okay, my brother's daughter has not been taken care of. His family's not been taken care of. I talked to the staff. Why are you calling me? Who are you? I gave the number to a lady.
I don't know the topic.
You know Tata? I'm not really know Katie and Tuka. They've been taken care of since the family problem been taken care of up north.
I don't know.
You don't? Well, this is going away, my friend. Because let me tell you something. I was the driver of the doctor, and he told me the whole story. He told me nobody was taking care of him, nobody was taking care of his family. The family was taking care of Katie and Tuka, and nothing's been taken care of the doctor. So we know what's going on. The doctor needs to be taken care of, do the right thing. The lady already has the paperwork, she knows what I'm talking about. We know Katie, we know Tuka, we know they've been taken care of.
Let me look at that.
No, going away, you guys need to do the right thing for doctor. That's my brother, man. That's my brother, and he needs to be taken care of. His family needs to be taken care of, just like Katie and Tuka have been taken care of.
I've never met these people, but let me call you back, okay?
That's bullshit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this lady. I don't know your relationship with the lady, but we know what the fuck is going on. Just take that way. Take care of doctor, just like you take care of Katie and Tuka, man.
Let me call you back.
Now, Charlie tries to call Katie right after, and he doesn't get her, and he tries to call her a couple of times, according to Patrick Sanford, and Katie finally calls him back at 12:47 p.m. And in this call, Charlie indicates that he thinks that the undercover statement about do the right thing sounds like it's more of a cop that's fishing. So again, when we've got the one of two scenarios, it sounds like Charlie here is leaning towards this might actually be a cop. But then he says, but I don't know. I don't know. They're coming up with a lot of effing details. Well, that clearly hit home to Katie too, because then she calls Sigfredo and she is freaking out. She tells Sigfredo that the undercover mentioned Katie and Tuto. And this seems to concern Sigfredo too, because he's like, they said the names? And that gets his attention.
I have more information for you. And when I got a call this morning, like, I couldn't even take it. Because I had to step out of my meeting, because I just heard about it. And I was like, because I got a call back to back. So, hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, my blog, I'm out. I was going to tell you. Okay, so this person contacted his office. Hello? Whatever. Supposedly he said his name is Simon. Okay? Contacted the office saying, oh, whatever, I've given a paper to this person. They're obviously somebody's doing their, whatever they're doing, they're threatening. And like, they're very, very close to reporting already. Whatever it is getting pissed because my name's involved. And this gets better. So I'm like, you know what, well, she just tell me everything on the phone right now because I don't have working, like, what is it? Like, I want to handle this and I want to handle this like right now. So, he said, okay, they call the office. I was like, look, I tried to contact that number, it's like not a working number. They're like, I was like, why don't you go ahead and start 67 and we'll call a freaking number. And then, whatever, that person did it. They go, okay, I'm returning a phone call. And then the person goes, who are you? And they're like, doesn't matter. I'm returning a phone call regarding something of the paper or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, we know you've been helping out. They said my name and your name. And
Is it Katie Adelson?
yes, specifically their name. That you've been helping them out. And he's like, I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even know. I don't even know if you're the right person to be talking about. For all they know, he could be another KD or whatever. And I was like, okay, what did I say? They're like, oh, well, they're a brother of this other person that's supposedly incarcerated. And they're a brother of them, and they know him from Broward. I don't know if they were together in Broward and he got out, or whatever the case was, and he's like, but this family needs help. Do the right thing. Like, the fact is, like, we know for a fact that you're helping them there. I'm like, helping who out? Yeah, I worked for you before, like, that's it. I was like, well, that's not helping me out, it's me working for you. And I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. So, but they said, do the right thing. His name is supposedly Simon. They're a brother of the person that's incarcerated, and they said that name. And I was like, no, this needs to stop. Like, this needs to stop. Because somebody's harassing me, somebody's harassing your family, and they're putting my name and that's the other person's name. It's getting too detailed. It's somebody that he knows, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He said that the person had, like, he's just trying to get us to talk more. He's like, the person has, like, maybe a New York accent. Some of the words was a little bit, like, he wasn't threatening at all. He was just saying, it's time for you to help out this person and their family, because he needs it. Because we know that you're helping out.
What person?
The Sabo and his family, because they need it. And then before the ending goes, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the person goes, well, do the right thing.
He told him, well, listen, you guys keep harassing me, we're gonna call cops.
That's what I said. I was like, why didn't you just say that? Oh, no, the person said this is not gonna end. Do the right thing.
Did he get information? Where do you
Get
want
the
to do
number. Get the phone number.
I don't know, because you're giving me our numbers.
No. 305-712-6570. They picked up. Because I was getting tired of it. I don't know what's happening or whatever.
712-6570.
No. 305-712-712-6570.
That's what I told her.
Into stop. There's obviously no somebody. They're putting my name, they're putting your name, they're putting and they're harassing family. Okay?
So Sigfredo winds up calling the undercover number. Finally, he hadn't done it. And he calls at 2 o'clock, but he doesn't get the person. He just gets the voicemail. He does not leave a voicemail. So Charlie calls Katie at 4:58 p.m. that same day, and she tells him that she called the undercover. But then no one answered, and they got the voicemail. And then Charlie goes off on a tangent where he says he should have asked the undercover, who in his large Adelson family owes someone money. Like he wants them, he's like, I should have asked them to give me a name. Because he's going to go to that person and ask what's going on. And look here, I'm going to insert the testimony. Look at the example he gives in this ridiculous story. Charlie, yeah, who? Who in my family owes you money? And don't say the last name, because I'm going to go to that person and tell them, if you owe this person money, what is it about? Number one. And then I'm going to tell them, go pay them, okay? And you got to. And then Charlie continues on. Well, give me the effing first name and I'll go talk to. If it was my brother who is behind this, I'm going to effing find out. I mean, if it's my brother, I'll turn him in and get the reward money. My brother's a piece of shit. How horrible is that? Sorry, my opinion. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. They're talking in code about the undercover, this call he had with them, and now he's like throwing in his brother. Horrible. Then he brings it up again, further on in the conversation. This whole idea that he's going to figure out who in the Adelson family owes money, because it has nothing to do with him, right? My family's got lots of members, so, it could have been a cousin of mine. Oh, that's nice. It could have been my brother. Like who owes the money? And I'll call that person now. Now, later on, there are some text messages between Sigfredo and Katie, and Sigfredo basically lies and tells Katie that he tried to call 3 more times, but no one picks up. So then, of course, right after that, as you'll see in the calendar, Katie tells Charlie the same thing, try to call this person 3 times. It's just the lying. It's just ridiculous. And then the next day, Katie tells Charlie she'll take care of everything. And that she's doing this because, as a friend, I'm doing it because of the mere fact that I don't think any parent should be harassed. And then she mentions, again, the different scenarios. So in conclusion, obviously, Special Agent Sanford is going to be an important witness in this trial, just as he was in the 22 trial and the 19 trial. He was the lead investigator in connection with the bump operation, the Dolce Vita enhanced recording, and all of the wiretaps. So, as I mentioned, the defense has filed a motion to suppress all of that wiretap evidence. I don't think it's going to be successful, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm also interested to see if we see additional wiretap calls that now that we again have Charlie Adelson directly on trial. Certainly the ones we just went over now, I think are great circumstantial evidence to show, involvement in the murder for hire plot. But there might be more. We don't know, because the exhibit list is just basically broadly described the surveillance. So we don't know. What do you think? Thank you again so much for joining. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing a analysis of the Dolce Vita enhanced recording from the aspect of Charlie, just because I think it's important for us to see both sides. So look forward to that. And then in the meantime, I hope to see you in my next one.